Hello and welcome everyone to Season 2, Episode 1 of Let's Play Banished. So, for those of you who are new to our community, welcome, thank you for joining, and for those of you who have been watching since Season 1, welcome back everyone. So, with that being said, let's discuss what we can do here in this second season. So, obviously, for those of you who watched the first season, you know that we were aiming for a goal of 1,000 citizens in terms of total population. But we also had a secondary goal, which was to try and unlock all the seed types that we could for the crop fields as well as the orchards, and also unlock all the different types of livestock. However, due to the late game nature where we ended up, it did not seem a real viable option to purchase all of those and started harvesting them. So I thought, why not use this second season to really look into what our options are. So, with that being said, I think that we should forgo on the primary goal of getting to another 1,000 citizen city, although obviously we can do that, but make our first objective to purchase all the seeds that we can, purchase all the livestock that we can, and see how far we can get. And as an added, let's say, challenge, we can also limit ourselves, at least in terms of food production, to go farming only. And when I say farming only, we can only use crop fields, we can only use orchards, and let's allow livestock as well. So, no fishing dogs, no gatherers huts, no hunting cabins, no hunting blinds, purely crop fields as well as orchards, and of course the livestock in the pastures. So, I thought that would be pretty exciting. I've never tried it, never attempted it, so I'm not even sure if it's possible, but we're sure going to find out. So let's see at what our city parameters are here. So we have our town name, Gregon. We'll leave it at that. We have the map seed here, in case you want to play along on the same map. And instead of going flat plains like we did in Season 1, I thought we'd try out verdant plains here. I think that's gonna work out just fine if we want to keep farming here. So, again, terrain size is going to be very large, especially considering that we're going to only use farms, and those take up a pretty big footprint here. So I'm not liking the possibility of us running out of map. So let's keep it at very large here. In terms of climate, let's keep it at fair. I don't think very mild or mild will be necessary here. We do want to have a challenging environment where we can do so. So I think fair is going to be do just fine here. Also not harsh or very harsh or arid or harsh arid. That's going to really put a damper in our food production here. And since fair seems to be the standard climate that most people go with, we can still go for some degree of education here. So let's keep it at fair here. So in this season, I'm gonna turn the disasters on. So there's another thing that we're gonna have to take into account here. Make sure that our city does not catch fire. And in terms of starting conditions, being that we can only obtain food from crop fields as well as orchards, Adam and Eve is not going to really work out because it does not provide us with seeds or anything of the like. So we're going to have to select starting conditions where we will have some seeds. And I thought that shipwreck might be a nice twist to the game here. Also, let's go with the El Dorado one. And let's take medium plus here. And the medium plus also gives us some livestock to begin with. So, with that being said, let's start up a game. So, since we have the time here waiting for the game to load up, there are going to be some challenges that we did not necessarily have to deal with here. So, one thing, of course, the primary objective here is to produce food with farms only. And being that food is, well, I wouldn't say scarce because the crop fields do produce a massive amount of food, footprint is going to be a problem here. So I have some thoughts and ideas on how we should do that. So let's pause the game here and let's look around. Wow. These trees. They look nice. Also our shipwreck here. That's pretty cool. We have some firewood, hide coats, iron tools, and 1,800 potatoes. So that's pretty good here. So let's zoom out. Wow. That is a big mountain. pretty close to us, so that's good. Yeah, lots of trees. But we do have some nice open space here. And these seem to be bison, so that's pretty good. So let's look for water here. Oh, here we go. That is not really far away, but also not close by. So we do want to make a run for this river here as soon as we can. Because we will need it for trade posts, not necessarily for food. Not at all, actually, because we will not build any, let's say, other food production buildings than crop fields. So, let's see here. Let's set up. So again, here in the tools and reports section, I'd like to have the general statistics here. In the top, seems that we have 10 adults and 5 children. Let's pick up an event log, a minimap. Oh, that's a nice looking map. Got pretty lucky. And let's take a vertical scrolling professionalist here. That fits in pretty nicely here. Okay, so first things first, let's do some planning here. I really like how the shipwreck looks. That's gonna be our tribute here. So let's keep this one. Let's not demolish it or anything. And yeah, seeing that we do want to move towards the water here, let's do some long-term planning before we start the game up here. So, as you know, I always like to start with a market building here. Not necessarily for building it right away, but for planning purposes. And let's go with the central market. Pretty big, has a large sphere of influence, so we can do that. So let's see here. I do not want to pick up this mountain in its range because that's going to be wasted space. So let's do something like... Does that look nice? Yeah, I think so. Not too terrible. So let's place this central market right here. Pause it. Again, we don't need to build it right away, but it's going to give us some sort of idea of where we want to build the rest of our buildings here. So again, with our central market building down, what's the first thing we're going to have to take into account here? That's going to be, well, logs not necessarily, although for building placement that's going to be pretty important. Firewood. So yeah, logs and firewood, that's going to be interesting here because we seem to be quite a bit removed from this initial central market here. And I'm kind of hesitant to do that on the right side here because I do want to move towards the water. And this seems to be the closest one, the closest spot. So, let's see here. Again, for planning purposes, let's place down a forester. And let's have it somewhere around here. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting here. So let's place down our first forest lodge here. Pause it. We don't need to build it right away. We can mine logs by hand. And that can be done here in the removal and destruction tools. Pick up the harvest trees and just select whatever trees you want to have cut down. And all the laborers will have the opportunity to do so. So we can do that without having a building. Okay. Well, while we're at it, might as well build a second one too. So again, let's go to the foresters and log it. Pick up the foresters lodge. And let's place it roughly here. Now, as you'll notice, there is some overlap when it comes to the area of operations here, but a little overlap is not going to be too terrible here. Let's actually place down a third here. Another mountain. It's going to be real nice here. And let's see, let's do it here. So that's going to do it for the foresters, lodges. And let's focus on the second resource here. Now, for those of you who have been watching Season 1, I will be repeating some of the things here because I think they're crucial to anyone learning the game or playing the game here. So, in terms of all the production indicators that we have right here, so it varies from logs, we have firewood, we have food, stored stone, stored minerals and ores, medicine, iron, tools, and clothing. And the top 9 is really what we should be monitoring at all times here. And a few of these are crucial, meaning that firewood, for instance, is the first one. that I deem crucial is if we run out of firewood and it comes winter, it's still early spring here, so nothing to worry about just yet. But as soon as it turns winter, our citizens are going to need firewood in order to keep warm, and if they run out of firewood, they'll freeze to death. So obviously, that is something that we want to steer away from. Also, food, this is an obvious one. If our citizens have nothing to eat, they will starve to death. Again, that's very bad. So these two are extremely important to the survival of our citizens, and I would also consider the stored tools here to be a fairly significant one. Because if we run out of tools, all the, let's say, laborers, people that are working at specific buildings, their efficiency is going to decrease dramatically. Meaning that if you produce just enough food to survive, if you run out of tools, that efficiency is going to plummet, meaning that you will run out of food in this case, or firewood, could be anything. So let's see here. What do we wanna do here? So food, I will be allowing the collection of wild foods here, because I don't think that we will be able to survive without it. But that's gonna be good here. So let's see. Let's plan some things here. So being that we're on the right side of this forester's lodge here, let's actually remove all these windows and focus on the ones that are going to be important for now. The only logical building placement is going to be pretty close by here, so eventually I will be working my way towards this central market area here and get to the coast as close as possible. But my shipwreck storage is going to be right here, so that's going to be a challenge here. So let's build some roads here. Let's see what we can do. So I'm going to go with the gravel road here. I prefer those. And let's see here. Just build a little bit of road. Doesn't have to be much, but it's going to give us a clear indication of where we will want to be building our infrastructure here. Yeah, so let's see. Let's start with the obvious ones here. Let's build a crop field. And being that this is in the range of our forester's lodge here, I'm gonna, well, let's just place it down here. So we can build 11 by 11, but I thought let's try something new here. So let's go 15 by 8. Right there. Will take some time to build it, of course, because if we were to build it right in the center here, it will be done immediately. But okay. Let's see here. Can't build it just yet. Let's have a quick check. What kind of seeds do we have here? Sorghum. Okay. We'll work with it. And let's build. So now we have the choice of producing another crop field, because we have one seed that's going to be applied to all the crop fields. We could also go dense orchard here. So let's have a quick check. What's our orchard? Oh, olives. Okay. Also pretty good. But at least for the early game here, it's going to be a little bit challenging, being that crop fields will start producing food right from the gate. So as soon as we start our production here, the coming harvest will give us some food. And that is not really the case when we go the orchard route here. It will take a few seasons to mature. Only after that, let's say, period, we can start harvesting. And let's see here, standard pasture. Do we want to do that? I think so. So let's take 15 by 8 there as well. And let's select it. Put it right there. Same goes for the crop field here. So my goal for the first season here is to try to make sure that everyone gets a home, as well as of course, making sure nobody dies. So food is going to be crucial, as well as some firewood here. And once we have that, we can look to take further steps here. So let's build some homes. Let's see here. And being that we're in the sphere of this Forester's Lodge here, I'm thinking that we're gonna have to move all these, or remove them all together. But for now, it's gonna have to do. So let's see here. Let's go with log cabins for now. Let's have one person there, one there, and let's extend this road just a tiny bit here. Again, the goal is to survive here. We're not necessarily building these for the long term. Let's pick up a few log cabins here too. Okay, that should do. Now let's see here. So food is crucial. Hopefully we'll get enough food from these two. If not, we're going to have to backfill with the collection of wild foods here. And the second one we want to really take a look at here is firewood, because we have no way to produce firewood without having a appropriate building here. So let's do that too. So let's go to to this one, refined resources here, go to construction, and I like to go with the sawmill. Yes, it's pretty expensive to build, requires 110 logs, but it is very efficient. So I think it's going to be a good investment here. So let's place that down too. Yeah, looks nice. So let's see, logs we can mine by hand. We have our sawmill for the firewood here. We have a crop field as well as a standard pasture right here. And also, once they start producing or working on these crop fields, they'll mine all the resources that are currently on the plot, and that's going to add to our stockpile here, which is currently 100% full. But okay, it's going to work out. So food, hopefully that'll be enough. And stone, yeah, we will be needing it, but not for right now. And the same applies to minerals. I do like to have a medicine producing building here right out of the gate. That would be pretty good. So why don't we do that? Let's see here. Let's work our way towards this Forester's Lodge here. 18. So as you'll notice, I'm trying something new here in terms of the infrastructure, because in season 1 we went with a 16 by 16 plot, but I'm trying something new here. Let's go for 18 by 18. So let's see here, 18, right there. Can we? Well, we shouldn't draw too much roads here. Not for now. Okay. So let's remove this Forester's Lodge and make sure that it's connected to the road here. So it looks nice and tidy. Yeah, that's the road. Stops right there. So let's pick up that one. Pause it. Won't be necessary for right away. And let's grab a medicine building here. So we can go to the town services, go health and healing, and our first option here is going to be the herbalist. He's going to be collecting medicine for us. So let's keep that window open too. Okay. Stored medicine, stored iron. Yeah. And tools. That's really going to be our second focus here. Okay. So we have 4 houses. Hopefully that'll be enough for these 15 people. If not, we also might want to add a home somewhere here in this forest node. In fact, why don't we do that right now? So let's pick up this road here. Extend it just a little bit further. right here. And let's build a log cabin right across. Let's move the sawmill. And let's pick up this log cabin right here and place it across from the herbalist. That should do it. And also look to add a stockpile right next to the forester's lodge here. 6 by 8 should do. And the reason that I'm building this stockpile here is to make sure that as soon as people start working to clear the land here, currently has 13 obstructions, I'd like to have them to put these obstructions, once they're processed by the laborers, that they can put it somewhere close here. So for building it's going to work out just fine. Also, once our forester lodge is going to start producing logs, he'll also have a place to put it nearby. So that's a double-edged sword there. Pretty cool. Well, we also have a stockpile right here already. And let's see here. I think we can start producing. So let's pause everything and let's see what we want to be building here first. Obviously the stockpile, because we cannot pause that building. And let's start working on clearing these plots, because they're our only source of food income here. So let's start that right away. I'm gonna assign one builder. He can start working on the roads, and all the other 9 laborers will be able to work the stockpile and the crop field right here, as well as the pasture right there. So let's see here. Pasture will require 42 logs. Well, let's just start up the game here. We already have 120 logs right here. Plus, we will be able to gather some logs from what they recover from this plot right here. So let's speed this up just a tiny bit. And we can watch our laborers get to work here. That's pretty nice. And we can move these bison. At least they look like bison. Yes. We can move those to the pasture as soon as possible here. I'm thinking, because we won't be able to build a hunting cabin, that they're going to have to be our source of leather, so we can produce clothing. So yeah, let's look at this. Looks very nice. I do like to clear this plot immediately, because that's going to be our main source of food here for now. Hopefully one crop field will do. If not, we're going to have to place a second one. But, of course, that's also a possibility. And not necessarily a problem. 200 firewood, though. We should be careful. There we go. Our stockpile is done. That's great. I'm going to keep the herbalist on the back burner here. I think we should focus on food as well as our firewood first. Those are really crucial. So yeah, given that the stockpile is still full, we'll have to go to this spot right here. But again, it's not too far away. We can manage that, no problem. So let's actually go to, well, let's see here. It only needs one. There we go. So let's pause the game here. We're still in early spring and our crop field is done. So let's start growing sorghum here. Add one person to work here as a farmer, and that number will be, or that farmer will be deducted from our labor pool here. And he'll start producing food for us right away. Currently still at 1800 food, so we need to be careful not to run out of that. Okay, so now that we have our crop field finished, we have our food at least somewhat taken care of, so let's focus on the second one here. And that's going to be our sawmill. And let's start up the game again. I'll remove the herbalist and the forester's lodge for now, because as soon as we finish this sawmill and this pasture, we want to be making sure that everybody has a place to live here. And actually, let's see here. This is a log cabin. We might want to add one more log cabin. Not to build it necessarily, but it's going to have to be built anyway, especially considering we want to move towards the west there. So let's go to 5x, why not? So we have some space in the stockpile. Here we go, very good. Still have some food. Let's see here. Center pasture has enough. We should have enough logs to finish the sawmill too. It's very expensive though, 110 logs. There are some buildings that are way less demanding, but okay, it's going to be worth it. Let's add a, for the time being, just an extra builder here. Now let's start building these log cabins too. So let's quickly slow down the game. Select the bison here to be moved into the pasture. And let's get one laborer to start working as a herdsman here. Very good. Those are also log cabins, so let's unlock all of these. Let's have our people have a hoe. They deserve it. Also, it's going to allow them to procreate, and it's going to increase our population. That's of course also something we want to be doing. And let's actually unlock all the buildings here. It's going to be pretty heavy on our requirements in terms of logs, but that should work out. So let's start working to that effect right away here. Well, let's just wait and let's see what they clear from the plots here. Let's see how far we can get. So our first house should be complete any moment. There we go. A herdsman, a farmer, and a child. And now we have 12 homeless people. But that should clear up pretty quickly too. I really like how these trees look. That's a big improvement. That's very nice. Okay, that's 9 homeless people now. Slowly but surely we're getting there. And let's see how much food we can produce here. We're already at 1300. That's scary. That's pretty scary. So let's see here. Let's also collect some wild foods. Let's slow down the game. Let's pick up the sawmill here. So the sawmill, a total of 3 people can work here. But for now that won't be necessary. And it also can produce lumber. So we're looking to produce firewood here, because that's what we're going to need to survive. But we can also produce lumber if we're going to need that as a construction material. So let's set it to firewood. And let's have one person work there for now, because the fuel limit, as you can see here, is set at 200, which means that as soon as we have 200 firewood, the sawmill is going to stop producing. And the person who works there is going to start working as a standard laborer. So that's very good here. But for now, we're already at 100 firewood here. I do not want our people to freeze to death, so he can just stay in there as long as he needs to. We still have 5 laborers and 2 builders, so that's going to be just fine here. It will be an extra strain on our logs though, because it's going to use logs to turn it into firewood, but we also need those logs to build our log cabins here. But again, we're going to be clearing some logs as soon as we remove the obstructions from the plot. If we still run out, we can always harvest some more trees ourselves here. So, another log cabin done. Which one are you? Right there. Pretty good. So let's speed up the game here. Let's see, are you harvesting already? Probably not. It's early summer. We're gonna have to wait for the autumn. Where is our builder? Getting something to eat? That's fine. So yeah, very humble beginnings. Log cabin. Done. Pretty good. So, there we go. And let's finish these log cabins too. Let's see, 30 out of 30, 30 out of 30. We just need 8 stone. And we currently have 20 stone, so we should be able to successfully build those without having the need to collect some additional stone or harvest some trees. So that's going to be great. And I think that's going to solve our immediate problems. Let's see here, 6 out of 6. I might have built that pasture a little bit too small here, but it's going to do for now. It should do. And that is our homeless problem solved. Excellent. So let's slow the game down a little bit. We still have an additional log cabin finishing right here. And let's take this herbalist here, as well as this forester's lodge. And let's slow the game down even more to 1x, and let's see what we can do. Or more importantly, what we need to do, because as I'm seeing right now, we're running out of firewood and we're running out of food here. So those are critical issues. So let's look for food first. So let's grab a big area right there and collect all the food from it. We still need to wait a little bit until this crop field starts producing. You should be producing right away here because you're at the limit. As you can see here, 6 out of 6, meaning that a total of 6 bison can be held here. And as soon as you hit the maximum, it'll start producing food and leather. So, running out of firewood, and that might very well be because of these stored logs here. So why don't we pick up some trees too? We still have some space here on the stockpile, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem here. Good. And I'm keeping the herbalist and the forester slots on pause here. There's no need to build them right away. They're not critical, at least not for the first season. And running out of food or firewood is critical. So let's focus on the things that need our attention the most, after which we can comfortably expand here. Yeah, our food is low. That is terrible. But hopefully we'll start harvesting soon. And in the meantime, the collection of wild foods should tide us over. So let's select a little bit more here. That is really the added challenge here of going farming only. And I'm thinking that the harvest is underway here. So that should be a big influx of food. Let's see, did you produce anything yet? Not yet. That's looking pretty good. A laborer. Only laborers work there. Okay. So just taking down all those trees. Firewood is starting to arch up a little bit. That's pretty good. And you are being harvested as we speak, so that's pretty good too. Do you live close by? Yes, you do. Right across the street. That is excellent. So, a lot of trees. Can be turned into firewood for now. Food is low. Yes, that is terrible here. Let's see here. How much are you mining each season? So far you're at 448. Not great, but not terrible. You can deposit here at the shipwreck. And our sawmill has reached its fuel limit. So now that we hit 200 firewood, the well, let's say the sawmill here, or the person that operates it, will no longer have any need to produce additional firewood, so it'll start acting as a laborer. It's not counted towards its total, but he will start doing it. So let's collect some more food here. And let's see if we can survive the first winter here. So there goes all our food. Let's just keep collecting it here. And in the meantime, why don't we extend this road all the way to here? Because we will start moving towards this area. We want to be building more farms here as soon as we can. So let's speed things up. I don't see any need to to pick up more logs here, but the food is, so let's just keep on collecting wild foods here. With our one farm who is not going to produce any food until exactly 1 year here. And our standard pasture is also currently not producing any food for us. So the collection of the wild foods here is going to be crucial to our survival. But we're at 1,000 food already, so that's good. So we're in early winter, so let's go 10x and let's see if we can survive it. I think we should. And in the meantime, let's start unlocking this herbalist and Forester's Lodge too. We have some food here, so that should allow us to build these two buildings. And on 10x it goes very fast. So we're in midwinter. The reserve of stone is low. Do we have enough? We need 12 for the herbalist and 12 for the Forester's Lodge. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. Not nearly enough. So let's pick up some stone by hand. So we can go to the removal and destruction tools here. Pick up this collect stone. And we can select all the stone that's on the surface of our map here. Now, what I'd like to do is collect all the stone that's in range of this Forester's Lodge here. You can see here the yellow circle. And the reason that I'm doing that is because if there's a stone, let's say this one here. So wherever this stone is, a tree cannot grow there. So as soon as we mine this stone, it's gonna give us some more room for trees to grow. So if we can basically randomly select what stone we want to cut down, doesn't really matter for the quantity here, but if we can remove some space for potential trees to grow there, it's two birds in one stone. So let's try to be, if we're going to collect stone here, let's make sure it's at least in the range of our Forester's Lodge first. That's planning for the future, I would say. So yeah, there we go, Forester's Lodge. I'm not gonna have anyone work there just yet. I'd rather keep my labors for the collection of food. And of course, more food buildings. Let's see here, yeah, our forester or our sawmill is having to work again because we dropped below 200 here. And it seems as though we're going to survive the first winter here. So that's excellent. So let's finish up this herbalist, and I do like to put someone to work there right away. So let's slow the game down a bit, and let's assign one herbalist to work here. Herb limit at 100, that should do. And the reason that I'm doing this is because herbalists are an excellent building or an excellent profession to keep our health up here. So you'll see here the health bar. It currently has 4.5 hearts. That means the average health of our citizens is doing just fine, but as time progresses here, that's gonna drop. And therefore, I'd like to have an herbalist here who's gonna keep this health up for us, because the more healthy your citizens are, the faster they're gonna reproduce. So that's a good thing here. So let's speed the game up just a bit here. We're almost running out of time for this episode, but we will be able to survive the first winter. And we have all the buildings that we need. So I think it's a pretty successful start here, at least for now. Yes, these buildings are more likely than not going to be temporary, but we'll have to start somewhere here. So let's go to 10x. And there we go. We're entering early spring here. So, we survived the first winter. That's the first step towards building to where we want to get here. But with that said, we ran out of time. That's going to have to be it for the first episode. I hope you enjoyed. And let's see how this game progresses here. I think it's going to be very interesting what we can do and what the challenges are going to be with the farming only approach here. So, with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you in the next episode. Thank you.